Have you ever really thought about how we actually lose our hearing? Because it almost never happens all at once, right? It's this incredibly silent fade. It's kind of like a photograph slowly losing its color over time. It creeps up on us so gradually that it's very often only noticed years later. And the problem is, by the time we realize it, that ideal window to actually intervene has already passed. So, welcome to today's Explainer. We are breaking down a really fascinating approach that tackles this hidden crisis head-on. I am absolutely thrilled to guide you through this, because we're looking at a true digital transformation in hearing health. It's driven by a platform called LORECa. We're going to explore how we can completely shift from finding out way too late to knowing exactly where our hearing stands right now, literally using tools we already have in our pockets. All right, so here is our game plan for today. 1. The silent global crisis. 2. A digital and free solution. 3. An easy 4-step experience. 4. The health ecosystem. And 5. Proven reliability. Section 1. The silent global crisis. A hidden decline. Okay, let's dive into this. If you think about the traditional timeline of our hearing health, it's basically this long, slow downward curve. Because the loss is so gradual, people just naturally adapt to it. They usually don't even realize there's a problem until years down the line, which leads to a very late intervention point. By then, the loss is already pretty significant. But if we can intervene early, right at the onset of that decline, it acts as a critical early warning. This allows us to shift to a much healthier trajectory and preserve our hearing potential for the long haul. Closing that massive gap between an early warning and a delayed realization is exactly what we need to figure out. And this creates a really stark contrast between the old way of doing things and the new way. The traditional process, it pretty much relies entirely on chance. Your hearing fades sneakily, you might randomly notice it years later, you ask around for a clinic based on hearsay, and it all just leads to delayed intervention. But a self-service system completely flips this script. You can take a digital pretest anywhere, literally at any time. You get instant awareness in seconds, then it uses smart, location-based routing to connect you directly with verified experts. It's all about giving you that immediate chance for early diagnosis. Section 2. Digital and free solution, accessible to everyone. This solution is so incredibly accessible. When you stop and consider that the average person waits up to 7 years to address hearing loss, mostly because going to get tested just feels inconvenient, breaking down those barriers is an absolute game changer. You don't need any special hardware or some complicated setup. This pre-assessment tool runs seamlessly across web browsers, iOS, and Android. The whole goal is immediate risk analysis, an early warning system telling you if you need to go see an expert. And best of all, it's framed as a social responsibility project. It is completely open and free for everyone, acting essentially as a universal health right. Actually, let me pause right here, because this point is absolutely crucial. This system is not a treatment. It's not going to cure your hearing loss, and it definitely does not replace a real medical doctor. What it is a life-saving digital bridge. By lowering the barrier to entry down to zero, it bridges that massive gap between walking around totally unaware of a problem and sitting in an expert's chair getting a proper medical diagnosis. Section 3. Easy 4-step experience. Quick and simple. The entire process is broken down into 4 super simple steps that take, honestly, just a few minutes. Step 1 is preparation. Just find a quiet room and plug in your standard everyday headphones. Step 2, connection. Launch the test on the web or your app with one single click. Step 3 is interaction. You're going to listen to signals at different frequencies and volume levels, and you just tap the screen based on what you hear. And finally, step 4, the result. Boom. You get an instant pre-assessment report detailing your current hearing status. That's literally it. In the time it takes you to brew a cup of coffee, you have a solid baseline understanding of your hearing health. But of course, this raises a pretty important question, right? An app is cool and all, but if it just spits out a result and leaves you hanging, it hasn't really solved the core problem. So what actually happens after you get your test result? Section 4. Health ecosystem, a sectoral win-win. Well, this is where it gets really smart. The ecosystem maps out a self-sustaining cycle, a true win-win model. Right at the center is the digital platform. It feeds the user with that vital early awareness and free screening. This, in turn, supports the dealers and clinics by providing them with sustainable growth and highly qualified digital leads. And then, zooming out, this empowers society and NGOs by raising overall public health standards and creating real social value. Every single point on this triangle continually strengthens the others. Let's break down what those benefits actually look like out in the real world. For the user, it means smart map routing. The app doesn't just say, hey, you have a problem, good luck. It actually integrates with navigation to guide you directly to the absolute nearest, verified ear, nose, and throat specialist. For the clinics, it acts as a full digital CRM. They receive qualified leads who genuinely need their help,
which completely eliminates clunky manual tracking. And for society at large, it provides volunteer awareness kits. Basically, with just a tablet and some headphones, volunteers can turn places like a mosque courtyard, a shopping mall, or public square into an instant pop-up hearing awareness center. It's brilliant.
Section 5. Proven reliability. Validated framework.
Now, obviously, an ecosystem this massive dealing with personal health data absolutely demands a foundation of proven reliability, and LORECa definitely checks that box. The infrastructure is officially approved by the Ministry of Health, designed from the ground up to contribute to public health. It's also an award-winning innovation, snagging titles like the Medical Industrial Design of the Year. Plus, it has serious academic backing, being actively used and supported in screenings by leading universities. So you aren't just taking some random online quiz, you're participating in a rigorously validated, highly trusted health framework.
Which brings us right back to you. We kick this off by talking about the silent crisis of hearing loss, a decline so incredibly gradual we don't even notice what we are missing until it is just gone. But now, you've got this digital bridge right at your fingertips. Whether you want to check your own hearing health from the couch or you represent a clinic wanting to tap into this ecosystem, the tools are ready to go. You can easily scan the QR codes provided for web, iOS, or Android to get started. We really don't realize what we're missing until the silence becomes permanent. So what sounds could you be saving today? Take control of your hearing right now. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you on the next one.